Hey everybody, Mike from the Focus Garage here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about something that nobody ever wants to talk about: winterizing your vehicle, whether it's a motorcycle or a car or anything else where you live in an area where it gets cold and snowy and they salt the roads in the winter and you're not going to be able to enjoy whatever your favorite, method of automotive enjoyment or motorcycle enjoyment is throughout the winter. So in the next few coming clips here, you'll go ahead and see that I've walked through kind of what it takes to winterize a vehicle, what it looks like, what my process looks like, and how it goes. And I also did touch a little bit on specifically my Road Glide here, how I went and winterized that particular vehicle. I've gone ahead and actually taken the tour pack off, and in this video I did kind of mention that, how I went ahead and did that. So again, you're going to see kind of a quick walkthrough. This won't be a step-by-step tutorial on how to go ahead and take that tour pack off, but I'll just kind of show you what the bike looks like without it and what I did to go ahead and prepare that vehicle for the winter. So go ahead, check out the next clips here, and let me know what you think. So, as everybody could tell from that little introduction video, I've gotten the bike ready for winter, and I just kind of want to go through my little process, how I winterize vehicles, especially, motorcycles. And I took the tour pack off of the bike to make more room for getting around in my garage and just to make it a little bit less bulky. And I always wanted to see what the motorcycle looked like without it. One of the things that really appealed to me of getting the Ultra is the twin-cooled motor. So you've got, the little radiators and the lower fairings there. But one of the things that, I wanted to have the flexibility of was if I wanted a tour pack, I didn't want to have to go and buy one in the aftermarket and worry about it not having lights or anything like that. So I got the Ultra, which has, the twin cooling. It's got the tour pack, pretty much the top of the line Road Glide that you can get. But I do want to explore the option of putting a quick disconnect on it. It was actually pretty easy to pull off, and excuse it being on the floor right there. I'm going to get one of those wall mounts for it. But just, quick, I just pulled it off right now. I'll just show you, in case you haven't seen before, how to pull off one of these tour packs. It's really, really easy on these Rushmore bikes. You want to start by removing the saddlebags, which is very, very easy. You've got these two little, quick disconnects here, so you just counterclockwise unscrew them, and you can lift and pull this whole bag off. And then there's really only two bolts on each side that hold the entire tour pack mechanism. So you can see these two holes. There's one here, one here. You could probably get to it with the bag on, but the length of the bolt and everything, I just wouldn't deal with it. Just pull the bags off each side, and you pull these out. These are T40s. There's one on each side, and then the bracket itself mounts right into here, as you can see there. So this is what the bike looks like with no tour pack. I took the lower fender piece off right now just because I'm getting something done to that. And then I will need a license plate bracket. The one I'm going to buy is from a company called Soft Brake. It basically mounts to the bottom of your light here, and it comes down like that. And then I am going to get some bag lights so that way I can have my run, brake, and turn on there. So we'll have this, which also has an aftermarket piece which has LED signals in it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some run, brake, turn bag lights on either side here, just to remain fully compliant with the law and all my visibility as much as possible there. The stock seat doesn't look as goofy as I thought it would without the tour pack on it. Obviously it's thick. It's nowhere near as slimline as some of these solo seats or even the special seats. But I don't think it bothers me enough to want to switch to an aftermarket seat or even a special seat right away. There is a wiring harness that'll be right here in between the fender and the tour pack. There's, I think, 4 or 5 connectors. They're all very easy. You just clip and disconnect them, and then they are mounted to the tour pack with a little plastic clip. Again, just push and release. I've tucked that whole stock harness up under the factory seat. This is actually my first time pulling the seat off on this particular bike, and there is so much room underneath this seat here for a wiring harness. So I just kind of looped it up and stuck it under the seat. I did put some vinyl on the inside of the fender under the seat in case the harness kind of comes out of where it is, and that way it's not scratching and rubbing on my paint or roughing through the clear coat or anything like that. So if you've got black vinyl, clear vinyl, anything like that, you can see here, I just used some carbon fiber vinyl. I've got to obviously trim it, as you can see it poking through there. But it's just under the seat. I line the entire fender where the harness may be touching underneath it, just so that way we don't have any issues like that. So unplug the harness, tuck it under the seat, and you're good to go. And honestly, I really like the way this looks. I think I'm going to be kind of one of those people that uses the quick disconnect a lot of the time and only have it on for when I'm riding with a passenger or doing longer trips. I think anything that I'm doing solo in one day, I like the look of this a lot more. I have not ridden the bike like this yet, so I can't speak to if it feels any differently, but I really like the way it looks, and I'm curious. I'm sure that thing was not light. It was probably 40 to 60 pounds, so pulling all that off probably is going to help a lot. Now, let's hop into the winterization that I was talking about here. So very, very easy. This is a very, very highly debated topic of what people do and don't do when they winterize motorcycles, but I'm going to give you what I do. Make sure the tires are topped off, and if you are not topped off, but topped off to spec. So don't inflate them all the way. Top them off to spec, make sure the air pressure is good like that. My garage doesn't really get below 45 degrees, so I'm not gonna worry. But if you do have a garage that's detached or gets very, very cold, go ahead and put some carpeting under the tires so that way the tires are not sitting on the cement or the concrete or whatever all winter long, allowing them to develop flat spots. So if it's cold in your garage, put some carpeting under the tires. If it's not, don't really worry about it. So top off the tires. As far as the fluids go, this is a very debated topic. I like to make sure that I'm topped off going into the winter. So, check all your fluids, make sure they're topped off, but I do not change them going into the winter. The reason being is oil has a shelf life, and when the spring comes around, I want to have fresh fluids ready to go. So as long as, these fluids aren't super, super old, if they're more than a year old, then yeah, maybe you do want to change it going into the winter. If not, if they're just a couple months old, just from the last season, make sure everything's topped off and worry about it in the spring. Change the fluids in the spring. This applies to, if you got a Harley, your transmission, your primary, and your engine oil. Make sure they're good, and then that's it. Forget it. Fuel tank. You're going to want to top off the fuel tank and add fuel stabilizer. This is a 6-gallon tank here. I went ahead and I filled it up all the way, and then I put the necessary amount of fuel stabilizer in it, just so that way when spring rolls around, it's ready to go. Also, with that stabilizer, you are going to want to run the bike for 5 to 10 minutes, maybe take it for a short, quick ride just to get it through the injectors, through the fuel system, and through the tank. So that's pretty much really the only thing you need to do fluid related wise is just top off the fuel tank and put fuel stabilizer in it. Some people say they like to start their bike every couple of weeks. That's not good unless you're actually riding it enough to warm everything up to operating temperature. If you are not going to do that over the winter, like in Illinois here, it gets below 0 degrees. There's, foot of snow on the ground. I will not be able to ride this bike for the most part until spring, and I don't want to deal with salt on the road. So what I do is I plug it into a battery tender. Most modern motorcycles, especially Harley Davidsons, come pre-wired with a battery tender lead. And I've just got it in here with a smart trickle charger. The way this charger works is actually it cycles the battery as if the motorcycle was being ran. So what it'll do is it'll charge it up to around 80 to 90% and then let it discharge for a little bit and then charge it back up. So it's putting it through its cycles so that way it's just not forcing it 100% and in the long run hurting the life of the battery. It's a smart charger so it can sense when the battery has enough charge or not. So it's going to charge it up, let it dissipate, and let it charge up again. So that's it. This is exactly how I'm going to leave it. I cleaned the bike very, very deeply, and I'll put a picture up probably right about now. So yeah, I cleaned the bike very, very deeply, making sure that any kind of bug guts, oil spray, dirt, debris, whatever is not on the motorcycle so it doesn't have all winter to sit there and bake into the paint. So I took the saddlebags off, I took the tour pack off, I took the seat off, I deep cleaned the windshield, deep cleaned the fairing. And if there's interest in what products I use, I can always go into that. But just from a real short take here, it was Adam's Quick Detailer to get it kind of clean. And then I went ahead and used Bead Maker on top of it to really give it that depth and gloss there. So clean the bike as much as you can. All of the chrome, all of anything. You don't want it sitting on all winter, festering, harming the paint, causing contamination, any kind of clear coat etching, anything like that. Clean up the bike, and that way, the beautiful thing about that too is when spring rolls around, you've got a nice clean bike with a full tank of gas ready to go. You can probably get off for a couple rides without worrying about changing the oil or anything like that, and then you're good. So that's pretty much how I winterize this bike. Again, just a short checklist here is make sure the tires are up to spec. If your garage is cold, put the tires on something. Make sure all of your engine oil, transmission, and primary fluids are good. Do not change them till the spring. Top off the fuel tank there, add the proper amount of fuel stabilizer, and then hook up a battery tender if you have no intention on riding it at all throughout the winter. That's going to be it. This is my first winter with this bike here, so definitely feel free to let me know if you have to store your bike every winter or if you're going to make me jealous and you're able to ride all winter long. Go ahead and drop it in the comments down below what you guys are currently out there riding and if you'll be able to ride through the winter or not. This is Mike from the Focus Garage, and I will catch you guys in the next video.